Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. It's Black Friday, and you think we would be covering the movie Black Friday, but we watched it last year, and it was just not good. Do you remember this?
I do. That was the
Bruce Campbell
the
movie?
Bruce Campbell one.
Yeah,
that was a letdown.
Yeah, the premise was so solid, and Bruce Campbell was in it, and the movie was just not good.
No.
But hey, it's Rabbit Troop Sucks. Not doing Black Friday and Black Friday. Chump change.
That's right.
But I'm Paul, and next to me is Mike, and today we're going to do our wrap-up of it's nice when people get together. Or is it? Well, kinda.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was nice.
For some people. And
Yeah.
Grabbers is the movie we're going to do.
Yeah.
2012, Grabbers.
Yeah, we this is a movie we saw when it came out. It was on Netflix or something. It was on.
Or maybe like a year. Like within a year.
Within a
or so,
year, yeah.
Like we saw it.
Yeah, we weren't like waiting for it to come out to watch it. It popped up. It came to mind because it kind of fit the theme. And the movie's different than I remember it. Not necessarily in a bad way. I thought it was going to be a little bit different going back a second time. But I was probably a little bit more drunk when I watched it the first time.
It grabbed you differently.
It did, yes. It didn't grab me the same way.
I looked up the director, John Wright, and John Wright directed a movie called Robot Overlords.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm just in to watch it. Like, I don't care if we do it for the show or not. Just that movie will be watched. I will watch that movie.
I feel like it's this movie, but with robots.
That's fine. Whatever. Cool.
I think he's also done nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's Black Friday, so I don't know if people are just laying around like kind of like drunkenly or like after the mess. Mike and I have spent many orphan Christmases or and holidays and especially Thanksgivings together because none of our families live here. So we'd always like do the get-togethers here. So I'm sure a lot of friends have also just kind of piecemeal together a family and then did the old potluck, bring some stuff over. Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah, hope you're recovering from that. Maybe you're listening to this while you're waiting in line to buy something stupid at Target.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Well, we're recording this beforehand, but I mean, it's supposed to be pretty cold at this point in time. So maybe you're like the 400th person out of like Best Buy trying to get like that one Pokemon game that you'll get.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
Is that what? I don't know. Is there anything you want for Black Friday?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the pre-Black Friday sales. And I was telling people, I'm like, I am now officially the most boring person on earth. I'm like, yeah. So like, we got some batteries for my daughter. Like she has a couple toys that has batteries, and I think it was like it was like a washer and laundry detergent. I was like, I saw a really good sale and it was like free shipping. It was gonna take like 5 days, but like I didn't really care. It was like actually just a really good deal. I was like, oh my god, it's what's the Will Ferrell movie? Old school. It was like Frank the Tank. You got to come out drinking with us. I was like, I can't. Like me and the wife just got a big day. We got it was like Bed Bath and Beyond and Home Depot. I just don't know if there's time. Or vice versa.
Yeah, no, that's.
I'm cool. I'm buying batteries and laundry detergent, and I think it was the year before. You asked the same thing. You were like, "Did you get anything?" I was like, "Yeah, we got us the nice the rechargeable toothbrushes.
Yeah,
the ProSonic or whatever." I was like, "Yeah, it was like a pretty good deal." So
yeah,
cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
got ProSonic and
we're old.
Do some laundry and
it's some exciting stuff we have.
If the weather goes out, we got batteries. God help us.
That's good. You got to be prepared. And the battery in those ProSonics last a while. So
did you end up getting anything?
Yeah, I got a new key for one of our cars. Those are expensive, and they're having a Black Friday. This is true. Black Friday sale on the key. So got a new key. Yeah,
that was it. Wow,
I know it's super exciting stuff.
I was sipping on some cider.
Yeah,
I got some cider at Trader Joe's. They have Honeycrisp cider. It is awesome, and I love it. And I wish Trader Joe's would do this forever. But Trader Joe's has problems keeping things in stock for now different reasons. So as we were leaving, I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab one more thing. And one of the people working there said, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I'm looking for this, kind of like lentil chip. And the person said, oh yeah, like I'm sure you're looking for it. It's really hard to get now that it's gone viral on TikTok.
Jesus Christ.
And then looked it up and was like, yeah, we'll have it in a couple weeks. It was a really nice person saying that. I just had to like really process that I can't get products because now things are going viral from Trader Joe's on TikTok, and that is now making problems in my life.
It's the little things.
I guess. Yeah. I guess. It also took me a moment to like just really compute what was said to me. Like, I just wanted a chip, and you're talking about like social media. Now I'm not kidding. Like, there's a lot of things I had to put together, and that I didn't like that.
Welcome to our new podcast. Two old men complain about things.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah,
give me the rolls.
They can't get the chips I want
because of social media.
Yeah,
but now I sound like a lunatic. But someone just told me that. That's why I had to like compute that. Like, did you just say I couldn't get something because of social media? That doesn't seem right.
No. How good are those lentil chips, though?
We only tried them once. They were
Okay.
good. And I just thought, as if you ever go to Trader Joe's, like the big thing is like, is it, back in season? Like they always have things in, things out, which is kind of fun in a lot of ways. But I don't know. We only tried it once. So I don't know. I wasn't going to say anything about when I was asked. That was what was told to me. I was like, oh, I was just going to give up. Like, it's a seasonal chip.
Yeah.
But it was told to me. TikTok.
Yeah. Crazy times.
TikTok's starting war. Elon Musk owns Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Two old men just complaining about things.
Man.
Like we're about to get grabbed.
Yeah.
2012 style.
So we saw this movie.
We did. I think we saw it around Thanksgiving.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That checks out. What do you think of this movie? Just before we get into it.
I overall like this movie.
Yeah, I kind of do as well. In my mind, for some reason, I remember like what was effectively the last 20 minutes of this movie are what I remembered the entire movie being.
More grabby.
Well, just like
Fighty.
I mean, foreshadowing ahead, where they're all kind of holed up in the bar, like
Shaun of the Dead style.
Yeah, like that. To me, that was 3/4 of the movie, not 15 minutes of it.
Yeah, this movie, I mean, if you were going to put this in very American standard films, this movie is Tremors, then the UK style is Shaun of the Dead. And then this movie is filmed in Ireland.
Yeah. It's an Irish movie.
So it's kind of like both those movies, which is kind of cool take on all of it. I mean, I love Tremors, I love Shaun of the Dead, and I had a lot of fun with this film. So
yeah, there are a lot of like clearly nods to Alien, especially at the end. Like there's a straight up Alien quote in it. Yeah, but we can get to that as we move through this.
Yeah, basically the movie opens up. There's this fishing boat and people are fishing and are doing whatever, just really late at night.
I think someone's swabbing a deck, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really know the standards of anything to do with mass shipping or fishing, I should say, on boats and stuff like that. But yeah, they're doing stuff late at night, and all of a sudden this huge thing falls out of the sky. And it's near their boat, and they go to investigate it. And one by one, this thing systematically pulls them in, kills them all.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a bright meteor kind of thing.
Yeah, which should bring me to reading a little bit of the summary from IMDb. When an island off the coast of Ireland is invaded by blood-sucking aliens, the heroes discover that getting drunk is the only way to survive. And you watch it on AMC, just the way we did.
Mm-hmm. You do need a subscription to it.
That is true.
Yeah. But you need a subscription to everything. So what does it matter?
That's how you get grabbed.
Yeah.
They grab you one way.
Yeah. So the people they call for help. The kid that calls for help, he says he thinks it's an emergency flare. So he's asking for help with that. But then he gets killed. Everyone gets killed. Yeah. We don't see those people again because they're dead. And then we kind of, I think it's the next day, we see like, the morning scene, and there's a ferry landing because it's an island off of Ireland. And we're introduced to our two.
It's Aran Island.
Aran Island, yeah. Apparently, I didn't notice this, but I saw it in the trivia. The sign for Aran Island is the same sign for Amityville from Jaws, or Amity Island. What's the Jaws place? Where does Jaws happen?
I don't remember.
Whatever. But yeah, the sign was the same sign. It just said Aran Island, not whatever the place from Jaws is called.
I like it.
Yeah. Don't ever call me the mayor from Jaws. And we meet our two protagonists whose name I don't know if they ever said it, my notes refer to them as drunk cop and hot cop.
So we have
So there's a
drunk cop is O'Shea.
Yeah, he's like the male Garda is what I guess Irish cops are called.
Yep.
Do you know why?
Not at all.
Okay, I mean neither. Probably it's Gaelic or it stands for something. And then so we see him getting up and he's just immediately hitting the sauce, and then he goes to the ferry to pick up.
Oh yeah. So he wakes up hardcore in this. Yeah, not just hitting the sauce. He fell asleep, I think, in a chair.
Maybe.
Just holding like a bottle of like cheap whiskey, and then there's like, I don't know, like 2 shots left in the bottle, and he looks at it like he opened it up, fell asleep drinking that much. Good God. And then kind of swishes it around, and then just stands up and drinks the rest.
Yeah, we're yeah, that was a pretty gross. Maybe second only to like Reno 911, the movie, where he does like the Pepto bomb in the tequila or whatever.
I think I would rather have that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, can you imagine? Like, it looked like his mouth had been open just for the last 8 hours. Like, it's just dry and nothing in there. He's clearly like just hung over. Can you imagine just the first thing hitting your mouth is just like
your morning whiskey?
Like early times.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna do a little sip of this. It's not,
which is not early.
It's not early times, and this isn't the morning. But yeah, we're establishing right away that he's an alcoholic. And then he goes to pick up what's the hot cop's name?
Lisa.
Okay. And I'm guessing they had this conversation when they met, but I only pieced it together later. She's on the island to like, I don't know, for like a couple weeks to like help out, or I don't know why she's there.
I don't remember why there is something. I thought there was like some kind of holiday, so people were leaving, but I think there's only 2 cops or 2 guardians. I don't know. And the other person is leaving for some reason, and she is going to fill in for about 2 weeks in that person's absence.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I wanted to say something was happening because the person who's leaving is like, oh, like blank and blank is going on, so this is going to be a cakewalk. And she's like, I'm sure I'll figure out something to do.
Well, in this scene, we do see like a couple hundred people boarding this ferry that she's getting off of.
Yeah, I just don't really remember why.
I don't either. But like I think I inferred, or it was implied, that like a good portion of this island's population were leaving for some reason.
Yeah.
So easy enough. But yeah, they kind of meet, and she's like, "Yeah, you're a drunk piece of shit."
Yep. And he is.
And he is, yeah. But you know, there's redemption.
Oh, he's lovable.
Yeah.
He's the town's drunk piece of shit.
He is the town's drunk piece of shit. So
we also get a fisherman. So it kind of it's a simul-cut. Some guy's like, hey, and he's like, look at this. And they're getting lobster fisherman. And the guy's like, this isn't a lobster. And he's like, hey, buddy. And shows his fisherman mate.
Right.
And he's like, look at this. He's like, that ain't no lobster. And
you don't really see it. He's just holding up a lobster pot.
And it's like, you imagine like first person perspective, like monster cam.
Yeah.
Because it's like shaky and you're like, oh, what is it? And you just don't see it. And you tend not to see this thing for a little bit. And it is clear it is not the big monster, but it's maybe some kind of spawn of the monster.
Right,
like I immediately
little baby.
it's like baby monster, which there's many stages, and this is not just baby monster. It's toddler monster, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, we'll get to that. But this is not the main monster. It's alien monster.
It's in its terrible twos. It spits at the guy. But they're on the beach with the lobster pots, and then we see that there's like a shit ton of dead whales.
Yeah,
just all over the beach.
Kind of a bummer.
Yeah, they were apparently pilot whales.
Yeah,
that's what they said. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about whales.
There were smaller whales.
Yeah, imagine like, I don't know, twice the size of a dolphin. I would imagine.
It's like a fat dolphin.
Yeah,
like a fat long dolphin.
Garda dolphins.
Yeah, we're here on Rabbit Troop Sucks. We know a lot about marine mammals
and Gardas.
That's
my Aunt Garda.
Okay.
Nope.
Sorry, no. Yeah, that was. I'm gonna take a sip of this.
Okay. So yeah, oh yeah. Then the man eventually brings that cage back to his house.
Yeah, he puts it in like in his bathtub.
His gross shed bathtub or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and he's like, "There you go." That's kind of how he talks. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that is kind of how he talks. Like my instinct here is to try to do an Irish accent, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. So then the main officer and Officer Lisa get together, and I think they get just like a call, and they check out and they see all these dead whales.
Yeah, they go with like a marine biologist or
Yeah, Smith.
He's something.
And then they immediately go to basically a construction site, which is this kind of interesting. And the drunk officer O'Shea, he's like, "Hey man, like I need a favor," and the guy's like, "Dude, like what do you want from me?" Like kind of aggressively.
Right.
He's like, "Well, I'm gonna need like the boys for like an hour." He's like, "What do you need all of my boys for an hour?" And it kind of sucks because like I could tell that everyone like volunteered once those. So like you don't see the discussion of like. We need to get like really some dead whales off the beach.
Right.
Like it's really sad. Like it's just like then people are doing it, and I think it's just like, oh shit, man, yeah, okay, like I think the government's buying us some like dinner tonight, guys. Like we got to do some weird shit. Like there's some dead whales. Like it's just kind of like a sad moment. I'm laughing about it, but I'm like, wow, there's like some weird comedy undertones earlier, and now this is not this is not that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And in the process, one of the guys gets dragged out to sea.
Yeah.
You know.
And then another guy eventually does, but we just don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the part of this crew gets taken out. Yeah, and that just kind of sucks.
I have rules of grabbers. I forgot I wrote this. Like it was rules of Fight Club.
Okay, let's hear it.
And it's so there's only 2 rules. Rule number 1, O'Shea going drinking. That is just what I wrote. O'Shea going drinking. And then rule 2 is grabber's gonna grab.
Yeah, grabbers are going to be grabbing. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they get dragged out to sea, and now we kind of cut later. And at this point, I guess I didn't piece together that Lisa was only here for a time, because she's like they're at like a bar in B&B. It's like the place in the town that everything happens, I guess.
Oh, it's beyond that. Lisa establishes that she is staying like at part of the inn tavern.
Well, that's what I was like. Is she staying at this bar? Like,
yes, because she walks in and is like, "Oh, I need the iron."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "What?" And she does. She gets a full-on clothing iron from the bartender.
Yeah, he's just got him.
Yeah, and I was very confused. I did not know that was etiquette in Ireland. That's where you get your iron.
Your iron, yeah. Well, I mean, anything you need, extra towels.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
A Nintendo Switch. What do you got? What do you got?
Maybe
There?
he's got all kinds of stuff. There's a fee for that probably.
That's fine.
Video rentals maybe if you want to watch it in your room. I don't know.
I do.
But yeah, she's staying there. And of course, O'Shea is drunk cop.
Yep.
Okay, he's there getting drunk.
And the old man who found it in the lobster cage is there too.
Yeah, he's there. He's
spinning a yarn.
He's talking about sea monsters. And they're like, "Yeah, whatever, old man." He's like, "No, really. There's one in my bathtub." And they go,
It's like
"Okay,
an SNL skit.
yeah, this monster in the bathtub." And this is we're also kind of setting up like the I would say sexual tension, but not really. Just like that O'Shea wants to bang Lisa, and she's not really here for it.
No, here's the weird thing. I didn't get that from him. This is what I got from him. She shows up in town. He knows he's a huge drunk, and he's like, "Wow, she's pretty," and kind of just leaves it at that. But everyone else is interfering, like,
oh yeah, like the bartender.
The bartender's like, "I'm gonna like, there's a spark between you. Now's the time to ignite it. Like, I'm gonna tell you your future. Like, I'm, dealing out fortune cards. Like, I don't." And I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I don't know, maybe." And people are like, "No, you got to do this." She's like, "This is how I met my husband, and he's the owner and the co-owner or whatever." And it's all super weird. But yeah, and even Lisa herself sabotages herself. Like, he's just minding her business later in the film, and she's like, "I'm going to tell you how I feel." I'm like, so everyone brings this to him. I swear to God, everyone brings this to him. And it works, but
No, yeah, it does eventually work. Maybe it's just because on this island there's
it's very little.
there maybe one other age appropriate woman for this person. So it's like, you know what, this is your chance. There's one woman here within 10 years of your age. Like, jump on this shit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, as we go through this movie, we could point out that he's really kind of keeping to himself and just he's got one job, to drink. O'Shea's gonna drinking.
You know, later when he like goes when he goes to her room, like, I don't know, he was proposing some stuff, but he was also drunk.
That's drunk O'Shea. That's different.
Classic drunk O'Shea.
That was, hey, I'm at a 9 right now. Let's see how this goes. Let me introduce my other self. You saw me day drunk. You haven't seen me night drunk. Welcome to my hide. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay. So yeah, they're at the bar. Blah blah blah. Now we see we cut to like some local house. And there's a woman doing her hair and a guy watching TV.
Think about what the hell you're talking about, like local house, like frat house.
No, just I don't know. It's just like some rando fucking house. And there's a knock on the door, and the guy's like, "Fuck, I'll get it." And he opens the door.
Grabber's gonna grab.
Grabber's gonna grab.
Rule 2. But he's lured out.
He's lured out. Yeah. The wife is like, "Who is it?" And he's like, It was one of the people that was helping clear the whales.
Yes. Yeah, so okay. Imagine you open your front door and someone's clearly on your roof with a string and holding a Halloween skeleton.
Right.
Because that's kind of the floating sensation you're seeing.
This guy is like being played like a marionette.
Yeah, so he does look through the peephole and he sees this guy, and we don't see that perspective, but he does say who it is. It's like, blank and blank. I don't want to talk to him. I'm like, okay, the peephole. But he opens the door and you see just basically like the husk of a body floating, like truly floating. And on the monster's end, it is the lore. But on our end, we're like, who are you yelling at, bro? Like, you're yelling at like a Halloween decoration.
Right, like it is very clear that this person is, 1, dead, and 2, being manipulated by something above you, because it's like floating around. But you know, maybe he was a little bit drunk as well. But he gets grabbered because Grabber's going to grab.
Yep, rule 2.
His wife flips the fuck out and starts running around, and you know, surprise,
yeah. She doesn't get it good.
She gets grabbered.
Yeah,
up the chimney.
Yeah. So yeah, through the brickens.
Yeah. Well, it was her fault. She was trying to close the flue, I guess.
Gotta heat the flue.
You know, and that failed, and she got grabbed up the chimney.
That's a metaphor.
Yeah, it is. It is now. Yeah, and that was it for that scene. This when we were watching this, I had a feeling that this movie was going to be weird to talk about, because like there's a lot of lead up, and none of it's particularly fun. Like nothing's funny, or it's just stuff happening. Like I kept trying to think of fun jokes to tell, or like, but I couldn't. I wasn't.
A human man was turned into a lure.
Well, we had that for briefly. But anyway,
I mean, you're talking about up this woman's chimney the whole time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's gonna be, your new Twitter tagline, even though we're not on there. Like,
should we TikTok? Is that?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like local podcasting sensation member up for questionable remarks.
Sure. Maybe if we do, you can get those chips finally. Do they give them to influencers? Is that why there weren't any?
You mean like poker chips?
No, your pita chips or whatever the fuck you're trying to buy at Trader Joe's. Lentil chips?
Yeah,
some kind of alternative grain chip. Is lentil a grain? Is it a seed? What's a lentil?
I don't know. Okay. People are going to write us.
Yeah. People are screaming at their podcast right now because of how dumb I am. Anyway, so now cut over to the old drunk man, and he's looking at his bathtub for some reason because he wants to check on his little monster. And now this is where we see it. It got out of the lobster pot, and we see its like second form. It's like a little ball of tentacles.
This movie takes it up a real quick notch for me right here, because it doesn't really pull any punches what's happening. So, one, I do have a question. How big was this alien in the cage? Because when they do show it, and they do show it quick, it's in the corner of the room, and it is, I don't know, like
the size of a tumbleweed. I don't
Yeah, it's pretty big. Like, like a wiry tumbleweed of movement. So it's like pretty big. Like it is not even remotely close to the size of a lobster. So this thing, like,
I think they grow fast because we see the little baby ones at the end.
well, I don't know what it's been feeding off to grow. It
Maybe
just
it
magically
doesn't-
just grows.
Yeah, maybe it just
grows from the air and, and water.
The marine biologist said all it needed was blood and water. So maybe at that stage it just needs the water.
That's weird.
It is weird.
But
I don't know grabber biology.
jumps from the wall to attack the old man.
Yeah. And the old man beats the shit out
Well,
of
wait.
him.
So there's like 2 points of view. So he kind of goes down. He's swinging. He's like, no, and he's like super drunk. Like he was, remember, at the bar. He's kind of drunk. Kind of a big plot point in all this. But yeah, you're like, oh man, the old man went down. That kind of sucks. And then you kind of see this, like, I think it's like it's panned over to like a living room camera. And the old man gets up and just beats the shit out of this thing and is relentless. He's like, oh no. And he's kicking and punching and successfully just kills this thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think this guy is my favorite character of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, we've referenced this in podcasts before. Like, when you finally get the upper hand on the villain, whatever, you know, you don't just kick it once and run.
Hell yeah.
You beat the fuck out of
And
it.
he does.
He does, yeah.
And
He
they
doesn't-
show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just, I've subdued it. I'm going to put it in a cage. It's, this thing tried to kill me. I am going to beat it to death.
Yeah. And he does. So, cut to the next morning. We have, so we didn't, when O'Shea was all getting all drunk and weird at Lisa,
Yeah.
at Lisa's door, she just takes him to the drunk tank to cool out. And that's where she picks him up the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she picks him up for work, and he wakes up in the holding cell.
I've someone also finds eggs on the beach, and I don't remember who.
There's eggs everywhere.
I think maybe it's one of the construction people. There's like some back and
Oh,
forth
maybe.
scenes,
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
someone finds some eggs. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of-
P.S. Yeah, there's more grabbers coming. There's eggs hatching, and
Yeah,
there's eggs.
things are happening. So yeah, she picks him up, and they go to work, and I don't remember why, but they drive out to they go to the marine biologist with the dead grabber.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. This is entertaining.
And he's super happy to see Lisa.
Yeah,
Like, Lisa.
He is hot for Lisa for sure, and Lisa might be a little sweet on him. Maybe not.
I kept thinking before this movie came out, this marine biologist, Smith, he was George in this BBC show called Being Human. And it's going to sound like terrible. And eventually it was terrible, but it was about a vampire, a ghost, and a werewolf as roommates. And it was kind of a serious thing, but it was like super interesting for 2 seasons. Like, seriously, it was like, this is a kind of cool concept in this like weird morbid way. And then like literally, I think every cast member left and new cast members came on, and it became a completely different show about like werewolf rights and stuff like this. And I was like, I watched 2 episodes. I was done. I was like, there's no remaining member. It was super weird. But yeah, the first 2 seasons were cool. I was like, well, how did I see this guy? It was just like a really kind of cool, very British show. I don't know. Go Being Human. I think then America tried to adopt it, and it failed even worse.
Yeah, we can't really, aside from The Office, I guess, we don't really do well with the adaptations.
No.
Like the IT crowd didn't land. Whatever that was didn't work. Probably others.
We have the greatest American Bake Off, but it's being filmed in Britain. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that works.
Is it with Americans?
Yeah, isn't it like Ellie Kemper, I think, is the host?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it's being filmed. It's not out yet or anything like that, but I think it's being filmed in Britain.
Did they have to find like the only 7 nice Americans to have this show be charming? Because Americans are big old pieces of shit. And like, I can't see that.
Maybe it's less American and more now like an international hub. Like,
Maybe.
come to our British tent, and Paul Hollywood and Ellie Kemper will, because I think Paul Hollywood's part of it too. I have no idea what's
Good.
happening.
I mean that's a team up I'm happy about.
There's like a bunch of people. Oh, and Don Cherry. Call back to
Oh.
Flynn.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah.
Don Cherry and Ellie Kemper are the hosts.
Zach Cherry?
Zach Cherry, that's right. Not Don Cherry.
Don Cherry, I think it's my adult film name.
Yikes.
Okay, what's happening in this movie?
He got grabbed. Grabber's gonna grab.
You know, I think there's a Canadian and an Australian baking show as well in the same.
Yeah, we used to watch the Canadian Bake Off one because it had Dan Levy was the host. It was amazing,
nice.
and then he left. I think after 2 seasons. Because he's great.
Who's on the Australian one?
I never saw that
Was
one.
it Paul Hogan?
It was a dingo.
Yeah, it was.
It's a different kind of.
Was it
Bake Off.
Van Dingo?
There's only one Van Dingo.
Oh God.
Hope you're full of that stuffing and that turkey and that gravy. 'Cause
Yeah.
Your on Rabbit Troop sucks.
Yeah, congratulations.
Van Dingo.
Yeah, so they're at the marine biologists. They're looking at the dead grabber, and I guess they're finding some stuff out.
Yeah, the Smith is like, okay, so these things could like bleed you like a vampire leech, and they're like, what? And he's like, well, this like does happen, like you're getting the sustenance out and various other things. He also figures out that alcohol has an adverse effect on it because he uses like sanitary like rubbing alcohol wipes. He's like, I put this over to get like some of the like the dirt and the debris, but then like the scales do like weird things and kind of shrivel up. And
Yeah, I
like,
didn't really understand what he was trying to show us because he swabbed it. He's like, look what happens, and it from what it looked like, it was just sparkling, like a sparkly vampire.
Twilight stuff.
Yeah. He's like, see,
if you give anyone enough alcohol, they become sparkly like a Twilight vampire. Hey, Colorado, you've got clubs, you got your discotheques, you've got your
Do we?
you got your lawless nightclubs that keep getting shot up. I think we know why. You give enough people alcohol, they become sparkly vampires, and people are jealous of that.
That's probably what the problem is. That's why they had to close beta because of all the sparkling vampires.
Well, you took away the alcohol,
Yeah.
and when the sparkle goes away, now you have problems. So
Yeah.
I think I found a reverse solution to the problem.
Well, you know why one of Denver's longest running goth nightclubs is still open? It's because it's the church and vampires can't go in there.
Well, but there's a basement. Does that?
I don't know.
Because I've been to the basement of the church, and
Is it gross?
That's where the vampires go.
Is it?
Yeah,
I didn't. I've never.
There's like a back crypt door or something like that.
Oh shit.
Are vampires not allowed in churches? Oh, maybe
Maybe.
the crucifix. Is
Yeah,
that a
no,
thing?
it would
I don't
just
know.
maybe they can, but it would just suck. Everything burns.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's listening and you know the answer, feel free to write us. We are This American Life on NPR, and you could reach us at the email that you have for us.
whatever that email address is.
I'm David Sedaris, and this is my friend Pony Sedaris. We're related through a gambling custody battle, still ongoing, but reach us at NPR, and again, the email you have for us at the place you have written us in
Why
the past.
do I have to be Pony?
It's,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, but marine biologist Pony Boy is explaining what the deal is with these things. Yeah, and he's like, well, this is going to suck because there's going to be a storm later and there's going to be water fucking everywhere. And these things are going to thrive because of the water. And then, wait, doesn't someone try to like set it on fire and he sets the sprinklers off?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so great. The two Gardas, they decide to go. I don't know why they were investigating this, but they went to this big water cave. Did they get like a tip off or something?
I can't remember if they were like, let's go see what the whale situation is. I think like,
Oh, maybe they wanted to check up on the whales.
well, I think it was just like things are happening. Maybe we should just like kind of go back to that situation. I mean, that's kind of what I was gathering. Like we should just like kind of figure out maybe if something's happening there.
Yeah.
So they get into 2 teams and kind of spread out.
Sure. Well, and so they're walking around and they see the abandoned truck of one of the whale guys.
Yeah, the construction people.
And they kind of figure out like, well, there's a house right up there. Maybe we should check that out. And it's the house that the marionette lure was implemented at.
Oh yeah.
So they go to check it out. They don't see anyone home, but they spot like roof tiles on the ground. So Lisa, Yeah, she climbs up onto the roof, and there's like a Rapunzel style bed sheet rope ladder. I don't fully understand why, but it was like leading into the chimney. Maybe this is what the grabber was using as a marionette string.
No, I think. 1 second.
Okay.
That cloth, that rope, that gross thing that you're noting, that is that. So Lisa pulls it out and says, "It smells like that thing we smelled before," like meaning the grabber.
Right.
And then she yanks it, and it's the woman's head because she was pulled up
Oh,
the
and
chimney. So yeah,
this was like her bathrobe or whatever.
yeah, or whatever
Yes.
dress or whatever she was wearing.
Okay. That makes sense. The head like flies comically out of the chimney and hits O'Shea in the face, which he's not happy about. O'Shea? Yeah, okay. So after they wrap that up, they go to investigate this big cave that I mentioned earlier, and they've got the drunk fisherman guy with them.
Yeah,
and-
well, again, I think it's my favorite.
Yeah, no, he's great, and he's like scouting around outside, and they go inside, and he notices these eggs laying around outside, but inside the cave, the two Gardas, now we actually see like the final form of this thing.
It's big.
It's big, yeah, it looks like a big kind of weird octopus thing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So imagine just like a ball of tentacles, and then kind of when it flips open, imagine like a mouth eye, because it does kind of look at you.
Yeah.
But it's always like moving with teeth. It's kind of super gross and intriguing at the same time. And I don't think this movie clearly has like a huge budget. So kind of like hats off to him, because I don't think it looks terrible. I think it actually looks really cool. And it's kind of like an eye mouth thing again is kind of unique, and it makes it a little more terrifying. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That was kind of cool.
No, yeah, it is cool. And also later when we see it like out and about, the way it moves around, it kind of balls itself up and rolls down the street like a katamari.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of fun. Okay. So yeah, they fucking hightail it out of the cave, because obviously they're getting chased by this thing. They round up the old drunk fisherman guy, and then they go back to the marine biologist to be like, "Oh, there's a bigger one.
Yeah.
We got to come up with some shit." And this is when they try to set the other one on fire.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. They try to set the thing on fire.
I'm 90% sure this thing pees in O'Shea's eye.
It pees in his eye.
eyes.
Yeah, he has pink eye now, some kind of space pink eye. But yeah, like so the sprinkler goes off, and it wakes this thing up, and this thing just latches to O'Shea's face.
Do you think there's a space topical cream for that?
Yeah. There's some kind of space ointment.
I knew it.
It's like a salve. It's really hard to get.
I knew it.
There's a side quest that you have to go on.
Or you could probably head up on Colfax and hit up numerous spiritual shops and be like, I need the space salve for my eyes. And they're like, I know.
Yeah, we've all been there.
You light this Nag Champa and you make a wish.
Yeah. It's a special kind of eye disease that you can only get at what's that Grateful Dead bar that just closed down?
Did it close?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Or maybe it didn't, I don't know. But it sucks. What is it?
I can't think of the name.
I can't either. Whatever. But you'll get an eye infection in there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it grabs onto his face. It pees in his eye. But they beat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And this is so it tries to suck his blood, but because he's a big old fucking hoocher, it doesn't work. So
Yeah, like it falls backwards and basically vomits up blood. It's like
Right.
blood acid and just like kind of dies.
Right. So this is when they realize, like, we got to be, if you're drunk, this thing can't fuck with you because it'll die. And so they kind of start to formulate a plan. They're like, okay, we've all got to be drunk for one. We've kind of got to corral everyone in town together and protect them because it's going to rain, so that's going to suck.
And we need to see how drunk we need to actually be.
Right, so
because Lisa becomes part of a test in this.
Right, because she says she's never been drunk before.
Yeah. So they're like, you're going to be our baseline. So we're going to take your blood alcohol, which is going to be 0, and then we're going to see just a little bit how much it takes to fend off this thing.
Right, so they're doing they're being real scientific. They have the BAC blowing thing. They're taking blood samples and they're feeding that blood to the grabber, a captured grabber, to see when it dies from eating that blood. And I don't remember what it was, like 0.2 or something.
Yeah.
It was a lot that you had to be
Yeah.
drunk wise. But the fisherman guy, your favorite, he had his own special like homebrew moonshine, and that's what was the tipping point. Because I guess that's just real high test.
Yeah, she basically just drank alcohol.
Yeah, it was like rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, and that was just made me like gag in the back of my mouth because I can't even imagine because she clearly is just drunk. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, I'm going to do this, and just takes this huge swig of just what must be because she like sticks out her tongue like this is the worst thing in the world, and you could tell the headache that she's going to have the next day is going to be epic.
Yeah,
like,
they're all going to have headaches. Apparently, one of the pieces of trivia is that the director took her and the O'Shea actor out to get drunk and filmed them so that they could see what they were like when they were drunk, so that they could get acting notes from it.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, what a nice guy. Good boss. Yeah, I don't know what happens next. Oh yeah, so they figure out the amount of drunk that you need to be, and then they formulate the plan. So they go to where do they go to church where everyone is for some reason.
Yeah, they're like yeah. They both go in, and I like this. So O'Shea is gonna remain sober, and
he decides to be the sober.
Yeah,
one.
even though he's like honestly the town drunk. He's gonna remain sober. He knows the people. He really does want to kick this in. And she actually is like, you can't do this. He's like, listen, like, it's not always been this way. Like, I'm not always like drinking. And more of this backstory is about to come up real soon. But they go to this church, and I like this because he's like, hey, everybody, sorry to interrupt the service, but we're gonna have this get together. Everyone needs to go to the bar, and he's kind of like, dancing around the subject. Everyone's like, okay. He's like, yeah. And someone's like, you're throwing a party? He's like, yeah, it's a party and you should go and blah, blah, blah. And Lisa's super drunk. And she's like, you know what? You're all going to go there. We're going to arrest y'all. And this is what's going to happen. And she is just screaming at people that, that she's only met for, a day or two. And she is like looking them in the eye, getting real aggressive.
She's getting real rowdy. Well, at first, I think it was like the innkeeper's wife was like, what's the occasion? And he's like, it's a welcome party for Lisa. And she's like, isn't she leaving like tomorrow?
He's like, it's a goodbye
party.
Go away.
Like,
don't worry about it.
Didn't she just get here like 2 days ago? Like, shut up.
Yeah, but Lisa's like seriously yelling at people, like calling people out by name. It's awesome.
Right.
But yeah, and she's like, there's gonna be a free bar, and everyone's like, hell yeah,
free bar, yeah.
Even basically, people leave the service, and even the priest is like, I'm just gonna probably take off these like ornate clothes, and like I'm gonna be there too, and I'm gonna like free bar, awesome.
Yeah, everyone's in for it because it's Ireland and stereotypes.
And it's good when you have a get together. Mm-hmm. Happy day after Thanksgiving.
We made it.
Into the blackest of all Fridays.
We all made it. Yeah, so they, the townspeople are kind of getting drunk and making merry, not knowing what's going on. And then in the back room, we have the select group of people, which is like the innkeeper, the fisherman, the two cops, the marine biologist, and also I don't think we've mentioned this guy. It's like the town doctor is in on it as well.
Oh yeah,
he's at this point been in this for like 30 seconds, but they're kind of arming up. The doctor is like, we need to get weapons. My weapon is I have a nail gun and a stick with a nail in it.
Yeah, very Simpsons.
Yeah.
One day they'll have a board with a nail so big.
Exactly. The innkeeper has a super soaker filled with gasoline that he affixes some kind of little pilot light to use as a flamethrower.
Yeah, so I think there's two things here. One, he gets shut down really quick. He's like, well, I think he says something like, my nephews have this. And they're like, a water gun. He's like, it's not just a water gun when you put petrol into it. I'm like, okay, wow. He's like, and people are like, flamethrower. And what Mike is highlighting, what the flame is, it looks like someone, I don't know, glued a candle to the end of it.
Yeah.
So you light the wick of a candle, so that's just permanently going. Kind of like in, Aliens, where Ripley's holding the gun and there's always like the little light source because it's like a flamethrower slash gun, which is like a dope ass like future weapon. But you always see like this like flame, like it's like that, but it's a candle. It's someone's like candle that they used for a pumpkin, and then they remembered it. And
Right. Well, I mean, skipping ahead a little bit, the one time when he tries to use it, it takes a million years for someone to light the little pilot light candle, and he runs out into the rain, and it immediately goes out.
And after he tries to pump it like 17 times,
Right.
He goes
Exactly.
And so
okay.
So the plan is. Some of them will be in the bar. This is the Shaun of the Dead plan. Like, we want everyone there. It could be safe. And everyone's going to drink. So, like, we're going to get everyone super drunk, and everyone's going to be aware of it. And so the bartender is clearly pouring all these drinks, et cetera, et cetera. And the two Gardas are O'Shea and, again, sober, and Lisa's getting super drunk. And, again, I told you, everyone is getting themselves to the point to giving themselves to O'Shea or forcing this, because O'Shea's like, okay, like, this is what we're going to do. And he kind of looks at Lisa, and she's like, she says something kind of flirtatious, and he's like, I'm going to say something flirtatious back. And she's like, well, I do fancy you. Like, boom. He doesn't even say anything like crazy. She's like, I do fancy you. So how do you feel about that? And all these things. It's like, well, I don't think this is the time or place. He shuts it down. He's just shutting it down. Hey, like everyone's like, she's super into you. This is your chance. She straight up says it. And like, not that they're going to have sex and be there forever. Like, she's drunk. He's a gentleman. They're on a case. Like, I understand, but like, damn. Mm-hmm. He was just an innocent victim.
He was, well, yeah.
Your Honor. Your Honor. Call the love police. Arrest this man.
No, you don't arrest him. He was fine.
Put the system on trial.
Yeah. So the evening's kind of progressing. The big grabber rolls in. The little grabbers are kind of like closing in on the bar.
Oh yes, wait, yeah, and so when they're in the car, a man, because they're watching the bar, a man slips out because he's like, oh, I feel bloated. Like, someone's in the bathroom, and this guy goes out to pee behind the bar. And that's when we see there are tons of little grabbers.
The little baby ones, and they go for him.
Yeah, they're like fist size, and they can like spread out their mouths. And they go for this guy hardcore. And that's what breaks up their conversation, O'Shea and Lisa.
Yeah, they were keeping guard. So they go help this guy. They get him back inside.
No, they do not.
Oh, do they? Oh, no. He gets ate by the big one.
Yeah, so he like fends himself off the little ones, and they're like, "Yeah, you did it." And he's like, "Oh, top of the morning to you." Like, oh. Yikes.
Because they're after his Lucky Charms, etc.
His purple horseshoes.
Yeah.
And he's like, yay. And then the big grabber like rolls back, sucks him backwards.
Yeah.
But it's kind of super weird. He's like, because it's almost like Austin Powers. They're like, oh no. And he's like, what are you guys talking about? Because the thing's right above him. There's like mouth eye. Yeah. Like, oh no, please. And there is like a delay. He's like, oh, what's happening? And he kind of spins them. He's like, oh, I don't like this. And they're like, oh no, please. And then it eventually eats them. Like, there are some like dramatic pauses. It's kind of weird. I kind of like it.
Yeah, that was fine. So they run back into the car, and the big grabber starts fucking the car up.
Oh yeah. And then they turn on the sirens as a delay. So they're like, let's get out of here. So the big grabber is kind of confused, maybe because of the lights, maybe because of like boo boo, like whatever it's going on. But yeah, it's kind of confused, and O'Shea's like, we need to get out of here now. And then they run into the bar, and then for the next moment or so, that big grabber is just beating the crap out of a car.
Right. And this is the first time that most of these people see the big grabber, because they get in there and they're like, look at this fucking thing. This is, I believe, when when the guy with the flamethrower tries to go out and use it, it doesn't take.
Yeah, he was like, "No, I'm gonna get it. Like, this is the moment." Yeah, and then it all. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Then it all fails.
This is also another pivotal moment, because we cut back to the inside of the bar with the party, and the bartender's like, bad news, guys. We are 100% out of booze. You done drank it all.
Also, remember Smith, the marine biologist, goes out out there. He's like,
he is the most wasted of anybody.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to confront this thing. Like, I'm
Right.
too drunk. It's not going to take me.
Because he wants to take a picture of it.
Yeah, and he does. And he gets out there and he does take a couple of photos, and O'Shea and Lisa are kind of skulking behind them, like, no, dude, like, don't do it, like, get back. And he does successfully take, like, I guess a couple selfies.
Pictures.
Yeah.
And he was also, credit to him, he was right that he was too drunk for it to eat him.
Yeah,
but
the thing basically, he's like sniffs them. So like, if we didn't mention this before, like, its tongue is like basically like this
spear.
Yeah, like this retractable like tape measure spear thing, and it'll get you and retract you back, and then it could drain you from that. So it kind of sniffs him out and is like, "Oof, you too drunk."
Yeah, but it also just yeets him into the ocean.
Yeah, just like they're like, "Oh crap!" And he's dead. Like he's not coming back.
No, we never see him again.
He 1,000 feet at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, it just like, ragdolls him.
But it's like just like punts him right out there.
It's like a paper football, and he just goes a flying.
Yeah, he's gone.
No, yeah, he's gone. So they're like, whoa, fuck. So slight flaw in the plan. Like, it can't eat you, but it can punt you into the ocean.
Yes, it has the technology.
It does. Yeah, it figured it out. So they have to come up with a new plan. They get everyone to the upstairs, like the hotel portion of this weird bar. And they're coming up with plan B, and the plan B is like Lisa comes up with it, I think. She's like,
it's like I don't remember even what she says. It's so drunkenly. She's like,
no, it is a forklift. But basically, what I gleaned from it is that there's a forklift somewhere, and if they stab this thing and lift it up into the air, it'll be stuck there, and then when the sun comes out, it'll dry out and die.
Really? I thought they had barrels full of like alcohol or some kind of like alcohol.
Maybe they were gonna pin it. There was she mentioned the forklift in some capacity.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna push it.
Well, yeah,
and it does more than that, more to her success. But basically, because that's why he had like a flare gun that he was gonna shoot into those barrels to explode it.
Well, I guess I thought that's kind of what they improvised when the other plan didn't go to plan. But I mean, it doesn't matter. So they get everyone upstairs, and Lisa and O'Shea kind of go off on this quest to do whatever they decided to do. So they get in this truck, and they just they hightail it down to this construction site.
And the big grabber's coming after.
Yeah, it rolls down the street like a goddamn Katamari tumbleweed.
And she goes right into a side of dirt.
Yeah,
like dirt on the side of the road. Like boom, right there.
Yeah, she's doing it. So they get there, and Lisa's drunk, so she's fumbling a little bit.
I know. Why wasn't O'Shea driving?
I don't know. Who knows? But so I think she was trying to like push it down towards this pit with the barrels in it, and he was like climbing up this thing to shoot the barrels with the flare gun. But he kind of fumbles a little bit. He ends up falling. No, like the monster uses its weird spear tongue and like pulls him down into the barrel area, and then I'm sure this is a tremendous description for you listeners at home. But am I kind of on the right path here?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know how much of this was set up. Like I know, like we always talk about, like we might lose a moment here and there because we're taking notes, but so like he's running up O'Shea. That is, he's running up a hill, and then there's like kind of a rickety bridge, and it's broken, and he has to jump to another side, and he does, and he's looking at these barrels, and he's going to shoot it with a flare gun, but
Right.
he wants this thing to come closer,
And it's not.
and it doesn't, and it sucks him with the spear, as Mike noted.
Right. It pulls him down into the pit that he's trying to get it into.
Right, and
Yeah.
then it's gonna like maybe come down, and he like I took it as now he's got this like suicidal moment of
Right. He's going to sacrifice himself.
yeah, I'm gonna shoot the barrels with the flare gun because these are all filled with alcohol or some kind of like turpentine or something like something similar, and it could explode, and for all these weird reasons, dry it out. I don't know. But he doesn't because Lisa's then behind him with like a front loader
Right.
and then pushes this thing.
And she pulls a Ripley. She screams, "Get away from him, you!" I don't think she called it a bitch, but it was the line from Aliens.
She says it verbatim.
Yeah, basically, yeah. This was one of the Alien moments. There was also
That's
a
awesome.
line from Predator in this movie somewhere. There was a lot of fun little grabs from other.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't even do that
grabs.
on purpose. I'm such a fucking.
I'm gonna write hashtag grabs.
Hashtag grabs. Yeah. Yes, she screams, "Get off of him, you bitch," or whatever. I think she calls it like something more British and charming, like a wanker, like you tosser.
Coffee strudel.
Yeah, coffee, exactly.
You chocolate baton.
And it basically pins this thing under the front end loader, helps O'Shea get out of the pit, and then he hits the barrels with the flare gun.
Yeah, and there is a huge explosion.
It's a gigantic explosion.
Yeah, so
yeah.
and it's dead, sort of.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait. So before that happens, the one pivotal moment, the grabber grabs him and is about to devour him, and he pours a bottle
right.
of hooch into its
Yeah,
mouth.
he gets. Yeah, that's the fake out. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I was like, there is something.
Yeah, there was another thing. Yeah.
They think he's dead. The monster's dead, and it tries to suck him back in, and that's that. Then he pours like this booze into
Yeah.
its mouth, and it's so angry.
Yeah.
Then-
So
then he-
angry.
then he shoots it.
Then he shoots it. Yeah. And I mean, the order of operations, I guess, wasn't important. And then you know what? That's kind of all she wrote.
Yeah. Well, then we have the next morning.
Well, but the next morning they're hobbling away.
Yeah, they're talking about like we're gonna get some breakfast.
Yeah, they really
like,
wanted
doesn't that sound
breakfast.
good? Something like waffles or pancakes. I don't remember what it is.
I could go for either. I mean, after you defeat aliens, I think waffles is.
Yeah, they're talking about like the future. She's like, "Well, I'm thinking about taking some time off." I'm like, I like. So it's kind of like weird. It's like she just came up. Like she's like, "I've been thinking about this." Like,
Right.
It's clearly been in front of you. I mean, like it's
Right.
You've been on this island for 2 days.
Right. Everyone.
You've been with me for 95% of that. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure this might have something to do with me.
I'm the only person you know. Every other inhabitant of this island has been trying to get us to fuck for the past week. Maybe they're onto something.
And yeah, and then he's like, I am gonna need someone out here like where maybe you want to settle down. She's like, well, once you stay here or something, like you can't leave or something weird. And he's like, when the press hears of this or some allusion to the press, she's like, oh, it's gonna get crazy. He's like, I'm gonna need someone. She's like, yeah. And then they kiss. And then they walk down like this very long, endless road. And then she's like, oh, I found this. And it's his flask.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and he tosses it aside. He's like, I don't need it anymore. And so to go to a backstory, and I just can't remember what it was said. It was, I think, in the car. She was under the impression that he was married and his wife died, and then he became this like kind of reclusive, crazy drunk. And he's like, no, like he tells her earlier in the movie, he's like, no, she just like left, like we went our separate ways, and she's like, that's terrible, like blah blah blah. She's like, she started seeing someone else, like I don't know what to tell you. She's like, oh, did she leave you because of the drinking? He's like, no, I didn't drink then. So like now I do. Like those are some of my bad events. Like whoops, like don't listen to the rumors. But he's like, I'm done. But this is kind of weird. He takes the flask, he goes, I don't need it, and like throws in the bushes. And he goes, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna regret that. And then he goes, no, I'm just kidding. And then they walk off. I was like,
Classic O'Shea fake out.
I was like, is that impromptu? Yeah, that was the classic O'Shea fake out.
Yeah.
And then
We see the eggs on the beach again.
oh yeah, we're back at the beach, and it's like, everything's great. And then I have my last note, which is hashtag grabs,
Yeah.
which is probably, now I think about it more, not the hashtag I think we want to be associated
No,
with.
it's going to be a lot of weird stuff. Okay, side note, listeners, don't search hashtag grab.
Let's grab them in the biscuits.
You're going to get some weird stuff, I think.
Well, Buyer beware.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Do it.
Seller beware as well.
let it fly.
Everyone beware.
Okay.
We just came from Halloween. Beware. Like,
Yeah. So yeah,
chaos.
I mean, overall, you enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I did as well. It wasn't exactly as I remember it, but yeah, I had fun with it. It's kind of a if you like. I mean, it's an Irish movie, not British. I don't want to like offend anyone by labeling it incorrectly, but it definitely that kind of humor. It's a little bit more dry than American humor. There's like some subtle one-liners that if you're not paying attention, probably don't really land. But I watch a lot of British shows. I kind of like that sensible humor, I guess. So I enjoyed it. I mean, as like a monster movie, it's pretty solid. Like the special effects aren't great, but they're not terrible, admittedly, especially for the time. I don't know. I just thought it was just kind of a fun little thing.
I kind of like the story. I just no one's a dummy in this. Like that's like a huge sell for me. That no one's like the town idiot. No one's like stupid. No one has really stupid reactions. Like people who die, it's really kind of just unfortunate and unlucky. I mean, a guy goes out in a small pub and he's urinating in the corner and minding his business, and monsters kill him. Like,
right.
He didn't know. Like, he probably even, I think they kill him because he only had 2 beers. But even if he had more, he probably would have been like, I'm not going outside if he knew there was a monster. I'm trying to think of other people, like the 3 fishermen early on. Like, they're like, what was that? Like, and then they're like taken out one by one systematically. Like, whoa, this thing's like hunting them down. Like, you understand that this thing is clearly intelligent. I'm trying to think who else is killed in this.
Yeah, I mean the guys on the boat, like the 2 guys from the like the whale cleanup crew.
Yeah,
the couple in their house.
Yeah,
but yeah. I mean, no one's doing. Everyone behaves in a way that it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, this isn't Halloween where it's like there's a citywide curfew, lock your doors, and people are like, I'll be damned to do that. like I'll invite any mass stranger into my house. Like, I don't know, officer, how did he get in and kill 10 people? Like, I gave him a bowl of candy and the keys to my car. Like, what? No, people are doing sensible things, and yeah, and I like it for that. And O'Shea might be kind of the most reckless one to begin with. But when things get real, he's like, I can't be the one to drink, just calls it quits. And even when he is drinking, everyone just is kind of cool with it. They're like, we don't have a lot of crime, and if we do, this guy will handle it, I guess. But like, no one really cares. This guy just drinks and minds his own business. He's like not
right,
like reckless. It just seems like everyone's cool with it. Like, everyone just be cool.
Right, be cool, guys.
I don't know what they want from O'Shea.
But they want what they're getting. They want a pretty chill Garda who knows how to party and leaves them alone, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah, you remember this movie more the grabber fight.
Well, not even the grabber fight. For me, it was just in my memory. It was most of the movie took place with these people holed up in a bar. Kind of all, but I mean that was maybe 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes tops of this hour and a half long movie. But yeah, for some reason, I just thought like, I guess in my memory, the movie started with people at a bar, and that's where they were just trapped for the duration. Like the build up, the first hour where they're investigating and like on the beach and going to the marine biologist's office. I didn't remember any of that, or I thought that was a less impactful part of the movie, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I still enjoyed it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, this is wrapping up our November, and again, welcome to our Black Friday. But we have some doozies coming up for Christmas and the holidays coming up. So, we talked about this before, but there's no way we're gonna do some holiday movie for every day in December. Halloween is a little different, because we're looking at horror movies, and it's really easy to do. But yeah, we have a couple holiday themed ones on the list.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do. We landed on. We decided on 2. We're gonna do 2 kind of holiday movies.
Yeah, and then we were like, we'll just do 1. But then we were like, well, it's our first year of doing this, so let's do 2.
Yeah, we'll go big with 2.
Yeah, we'll do 2, and I think that'll be fun. We're hoping our friend Chris joins us in the upcoming weeks, if it's the holiday themed one or not.
Yeah, but it won't be like October where there was a kind of a themed movie every week, plus a bonus ep. I don't think we're planning on any kind of bonus ep, are we?
I don't think so.
I mean, maybe if something fun comes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, just, your regularly scheduled.
Oh, no, I did think
Rabbit Trip
our simple theme this December is surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Just
okay.
surprise. And anything we're going to do is surprise.
Okay. I like surprises.
And maybe.
I got a birthday coming up, so maybe,
Surprise.
yeah, maybe that's just a fun birthday surprise.
Surprise.
The surprises are getting less excited.
Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Ding dong. Surprise.
Okay.
That's my new movie pitch. Surprise. You thought it was fun. Surprise.
It's not fun.
He's going to love it. It's a surprise.
Wow.
Or it's a perfume. I don't know yet. But yeah, and then hopefully our friend Lamar will come back and he will be joining us, and maybe we'll have some more guests. Maybe Nemo will join us. Maybe we have some new guests. Maybe we have Rico back. Who knows? Surprise. Boom. Surprise. You never know. Surprise. But yeah, as always, hit us up on Gmail, rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah. We're on TikTok. We're not on TikTok.
We're not. I want stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
Hashtag grabs.
Hashtag grabs.
That's yikes.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
this is not going to age well.
No, it's not.
So in the year 2047, they're like, oh man, it all started with this hashtag grabs. It's like a reverse Bill and Ted. Like they go back and they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they're like,
You guys fucked it up.
Things are not righteous.
Yeah.
People are not being cool to one each other, be excellent to one another. They're not doing it.
No.
Hashtag grabs to everyone.
The Future's Peace Anthem is not one of our songs.
Yikes.
No.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully all of your Black Friday wishes are coming true.
Yeah. Hopefully your Thanksgiving was good and no, you didn't have any weird family run-ins. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk to you soon, Denver, and the rest of you. So, as always, Rabbit Troop sucks.
Group sex.
It does. Grabs.
Hashtag.